ahead and start us off by saying hello, welcome. This is Attack the Talk, the podcast where we discuss and break down each episode of Attack on Titan in chronological order. As our good friend Eddie Hinston here joins us. What's up, Eddie?
Yo.
How are you doing, my friend?
What up, Eddie?
Hope you're enjoying your weekend. And thank you for joining us here tonight.
Thank you.
Live as we stream on a Sunday night. So today's episode, guys, we will be focusing on breaking down part 2 of season 2, episode 7, Close Combat. Of course, joining me in this episode is none other than Lexi.
Hi.
Hi, Lex.
I'm Lexi.
How are you doing?
If you guys don't know already, I've only been in like every single episode.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Lex? Doing good?
I'm pretty good, yeah.
Very good.
A little tired from work, but
okay.
You know, it is what it is.
Very cool, very cool. Also joining us, as I mentioned, is our friend of the show, Eddie Hinston. So Eddie,
what's up, Eddie?
Let us know in chat how you're doing, my friend. We'd like to know how you are.
It looks like I'm
as well as
space. Says Kyron. What's up, Kyron?
Friend of the show. Joining us also is Kyron, who says looks like I'm in deep space.
AJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Kyron is saying that he has no video, only audio. Sorry, my friend. Hopefully you can go ahead and get that fixed.
Hear us say hello to you at least.
Maybe get a quick little refresh. See if that works. Also, Eddie, hopefully you can see us. But yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend a refresh and then
refresh and then come back, join us. Hopefully you can see us.
Can you see us?
Because that'd be cool. But yeah, guys. So again, we'll be breaking down part 2 of Close Combat as we talked about last week. Last week was a little different. We had Eddie saying "Me Too" only audio. Interesting.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if there's anything on our end, but
it looks all good for us.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that I'm on a separate account looking at it on the phone, so it looks all.
Kyron saying that refresh did work. Cool. So
okay, good. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, because when we first tried to join on ours too, it showed nothing. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did try.
So yeah, I would.
I can't see you guys, unfortunately. Damn it. Sorry,
even
Eddie.
after refreshing, sorry, Eddie. I'll just let you know, AJ is dressed very nicely, and I am dressed in one of my gym/pajama shirts.
Very cool. Yeah.
But still a
But thank you, Lex. I am doing well. Yeah, can't complain about anything really.
Mm-hmm.
Life is good, and you know, it's always nice when you go ahead and kind of end the weekend with talking about some AOT stuff.
I know,
for sure.
Some Attack on Titan.
So before we get into our episode breakdown, you know, we have to do a recap. Before the recap, we also have to get into the poll results, and we have to get into the Spotify question. So I'll let you go ahead and handle that, Alex, as you usually do.
This time, I'm going to go ahead and do the poll first. Whoa, keeping you guys on your toes. Wow.
Ooh, okay.
What are you going to do next? Anyways, so the poll from last week that we asked you guys is, so you're a scout in this crazy situation, and Hanji asks you which squad you want to choose to help fight. This is in reference to last episode. And the options are Squad 1 with Hanji to help fight the Armored Titan.
Yeah.
Or Squad 3 and 4 to help deal with the Colossal.
Interesting. Oof.
And I'm getting these first results off of Spotify.
Okay.
And again, same old fashion. I'm starting with the lowest voted. So lowest voted at 40% is Squad 1 with Hanji to help fight the Armored.
Interesting.
And then with 60%, Squad 3 and 4 to help deal with the Colossal.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah. I actually thought it was going to be the other way around in terms of votes.
Really? Okay.
But I think it's because I think I assumed that there was going to be a Hanji bias. I think that's why.
Okay.
And then and then on Instagram, same thing. Which squad are you choosing to help? It's almost
identical?
Completely flipped.
Oh, really?
It's almost an exact opposite. We have 41% Squad 3 and 4 fighting with the Colossal, and 59% Squad 1 with Hanji fighting the armor.
Wow. Okay.
So I always
Cool.
like comparing the Instagram votes with the Spotify votes because they're either very similar or drastically different. And I think this is the first time that we've ever had them be like complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Almost exactly like
Like they're just
complete
1% off of being an exact opposite of each other.
Interesting. Very interesting. So before we go ahead and get into what we would think, and before we get into some in the chat, because we would like to know what you guys voted as well, I do want to say, of course, we appreciate you guys and sending your little happy birthday messages to Zach, who had a birthday recently.
Oh yeah.
As you guys can see, Zach is not joining us again, but hopefully Zach will be back with us sooner rather than later. But yeah, so again, happy belated birthday, my friend Zach, and hope you're doing well, my friend. So.
Belated birthday, bro.
Now I want us to get into what we would choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys put in chat.
Yeah. Let us know in chat how you guys voted. Again, the options are you choosing to help Squad 1 with Hanji and face the Armored Titan? Or are you sticking around on top of the wall with Squads 3 and 4 and trying to deal with this freaking massive Colossal Titan? All right. Neither one is ideal, but these are the cards you're dealt.
Yeah.
So you can't just, I'm going to go back to Trost. You guys have fun.
At least you have somewhat of an option, but.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Kyron, he's telling us in chat saying that I just can't imagine fighting the armored. I'd just kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, both terrifying. But again, so Hanji's telling you, Kyron, that killing yourself is not an option.
Yeah.
You need to choose right now. It's a matter of life and death. Okay.
Well, if he says that he can't imagine fighting the armored, I'm guessing that
he would go ahead and to with Squad 3 and 4
to fight the Colossal.
Okay. So Lexi,
you gonna ask me first what I voted?
Yeah. what would you choose?
I actually voted to be with Squads 3 and 4 to fight the Colossal.
Really?
And my reasoning,
yes, please,
is because I think that fighting the armored would be a little bit too much reaction instead of proaction. Like instead of being proactive and preparing, it would be a lot of reactive stuff, and I don't do well with that. I'm a very logical person, and I think that just having the Colossal being there steaming away, I would feel way more comfortable coming up with a plan of action, and I feel like I would have the time to do that if I were to go with Squads 3 and 4 to fight the Colossal. Versus with the armored, I'd just be like, Aaron, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I like that.
Good luck.
I like the logic. As Eddie also chimes in and says, I'll fight the Colossal. That's what I voted for. And then Kyron also saying, see ya. Walks towards the Colossal Titan.
That's what he's saying to Hanji.
To Hanji.
Yeah.
I love it.
See ya.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for you guys' votes.
AJ, what did you vote for? What is your reasoning?
I have to completely agree with you, Lex.
Yeah.
I think it just makes the most sense if I'm given the choice to go ahead and stick around on top of the wall, because as we saw, and again, we're getting into a little bit of recap now, but as we saw what happened when they tried to go ahead and take out the Colossal Titan is that the Colossal Titan is very slow.
Yes.
And so at least when you see the Colossal strikes incoming, you're able to go ahead and avoid them.
You can read it.
And they're very, you can see it coming. It's very, they telegraph the strike because of the slowness that this giant, Titan has, right?
It's so exaggerated too.
Yeah, and so from there, I mean, it's not like on the flip side of things where if I'm trying to, head towards the Armored Titan, I mean, we're going to see in this episode how so quick and agile and how strong the Armored Titan is.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for a quick little swat like I'm a fly and I'm done, right? So now, the situation on top of the wall is, okay, I wasn't able to get to the nape, right? Yeah, damn, that steam was hot, oh my gosh.
I'm a little burnt up, And
Hanji is telling us to stick around on top of the wall and to wait for the Colossal to eventually pretty much steam out. And then said once this, once this fool gets out of his Titan form to go
He gets
ahead and
tired
go
of
after him, right? So I think that is a better option than
than
all
a
right,
literal
go ahead, head down the wall and
literal tank.
do what you can to go ahead and take out this very kind of
like, it's not even the fact that it's like, one, it is quicker and small, like it's smaller, so that it is a quicker Titan, but just to add on to that, it has armor. So like,
unless you want to pull a Mikasa,
what are you gonna do?
And just try to stab the armor away
Yeah,
while he's distracted with dealing with Eren.
I'm like, all right.
And then Chiron is adding like you said, like a tank, right? Chiron's saying basically Hulk.
Yeah.
So do you want to go ahead and
but an armored
fight
Hulk.
the Hulk, or do you want to face Ant-Man as he grows into his giant man form that is that can release steam?
You have to make these Marvel comparisons.
Because
what's the
because even
the
in that
armored
one,
Hulk is basically just like the Iron Man suited.
the Hulkbuster, or even as Eddie had mentioned last episode, that this character is based on like Brock Lesnar, so you have a freaking hulked out armored Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Right. So do you want to go up against that?
No, thank you.
Yeah. And so I'd rather take the giant man that, again, as we saw in Civil War. I was combining both words. Silver.
Yeah.
But in Civil War, we saw that when Ant-Man became his giant form, that he also was very slow and very kind of like, robotic a little bit too. So I guess it just goes with being very big. But I mean, I think the option is clear when you think about it.
Yeah.
And then as Chiron and Eddie are both chiming in, Chiron says, "No, thank you," and Eddie says, "Hell nah."
Yeah, no.
I love you guys.
Not for me, guys.
So it looks like Hanji,
you got it, man.
Looks like you and me, Lex, and Chiron and Eddie, we're over right there. Squads 3 and 4.
We are squad 3 and 4.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Zach would be like, "All right, guys, I'm going down there to go ahead and do it."
No, I feel like Zach would vote to take on the armored for sure.
Yeah. Which is admirable.
No,
and,
for sure. Yeah.
I want to say that Zach's got good survival instincts, and I don't think he would do anything necessarily rash or anything.
No, I think that he would.
Too crazy. He could just
do exactly what would be needed.
Yeah, and plus you have Hanji down there too, so it's not like you're gonna be doing things very you're gonna go rogue and
You've
stuff.
Got this brain with you.
Hanji, she's gonna go ahead and give you kind of the orders and stuff, right? I feel like you're in a more, I don't know, your chances of dying is probably
the colossal
greater with the
squads feel like a more controlled environment than with the armored.
Yeah,
feel like there's way too many variables involved with the armored, but also like we all could be biased because knowing what we know, like how this ends up, because who, like, even if we were in this instance that they were in last episode, we could have been like, I have no idea what tricks they have up their sleeve. So, like, I guess I'll just choose the slower one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the slower one that you have to just kind of sit back and wait now.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and read some of the comments, Lex?
Yeah. Chiron says, too bad none of us have plot armor. Yeah, literally. We would just be some random characters. Unless we are theoretically the characters that we want to be. But then that would mean that Chiron isn't even in this scene. Chiron he's in season 4. And Eddie says, I mean, in the anime, you never really see the armor titan slower than the attack titan, but in physics, I'd say it's true. Yeah, no, it seems like the armored should be slower or like less. The armored really shouldn't be flexible, because have you seen like big like buff dudes try to like lift up their arms? They like can't go like past here. Just because there's so much muscle. They just have no like, their mobility is very limited because of the amount of muscle that they have. And I feel like that should also be the case with the armored.
I mean, again, we were thinking about it kind of like in terms of physics and stuff, right? And thinking about it logically, and definitely, you would think that the armored titan is very kind of like clunky and very kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the mobility should definitely be limited. But I don't know. Maybe that'll be explained in this episode. I don't know.
Chiron responded to your character
in season 4, surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
that's true. Because what did we say? That he was no neck armor.
Neck armored.
Maybe to have some neck mobility. Because Kyron said that he was Unyo Capone. I said that I was.
Well, if we're going based off of who we said we are, then you're in
I'm
the Titan's
inside
mouth.
of
You're
the
in the Colossal's mouth. Which you could
so I am with the right squad.
Yeah, you're the right squad. Yeah,
I'm just
and
unconscious.
then I'm dead.
Well, no, it depends. Because are you? Did we officially? Well, we said live action movie wise, but what about like character wise?
Character wise?
Because I feel like you're an Armin or a Bertold. Maybe we're going to fight you.
Maybe
man.
maybe I'm
maybe
the
we're
traitor,
going to fight
guys.
you.
I don't know. In terms of me, like, I'm not the brain like Armin, right? I probably relate more
Armin's
towards
on a whole nother level.
I relate more towards, Bertold in terms of those two characters, right? So I guess we can go in that sense. But I mean, I don't know. I also feel like I also give off a little bit of maybe Marco vibes. So if that's the case, then I'm already dead,
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, based off of who I identify with, I identify with Ymir in terms of demeanor, look, and voice. but I do not identify as being a bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ymir, but I would probably choose maybe more of like a Hanji. Maybe is the closest that I would identify with.
Yeah. So Kyron's also mentioned the fact that, like, just think about in terms of football. The defensive linemen also can run just as fast, and like those are 200+ pound freaking men,
that's true, and that's terrifying to think about. Actually,
it is. When
imagine
you go
that
in
in gigantic form.
When you see these linemen, they go in, they run their 40s, and then they run like a 4.6, 4.7, 40 or whatever, and I'm like,
and they're
how
like
the
this.
hell do you like?
They're like twice the size of a normal, like an average man.
Because
like
there's some running backs and there's some like receivers that run like 4.5s, 4.6, right?
Okay.
A lot of them you want them to run around 4.3, 4.4. 4.3's on like the top end of it, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of them run 4.4s. But if you have a freaking like a 280 pound, 290 pound defensive end or defensive lineman who's running a 4.6 40, 4.7 40, like that's terrifying. But I feel like
that's sprinting at
that's
you.
a great example too, Kyron, and thank you for that, because it's so true. Like even these linebackers, so let's say like Ryan is built like a linebacker, like they run freaking fast, like 4.5s,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy.
Because we even saw just saw a glimpse of just the armored like running just like to tackle that gate to break through the wall in like in the first episode that we saw.
Yeah.
Or the first episode of Attack on Titan. And that's not no measly little jog.
No.
He's sprinting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was going and he was building some speed for sure.
So for these reasons, I would choose to battle the Colossal.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you again for the votes. Oh gosh, Kyron, hey, I've seen a video of a bear running across a river towards a cameraman in like 3 seconds. Now we're getting into some freak territory, because animals are scary, and like you don't understand like the speed, the power, right? And like you don't understand that stuff until you like see it on camera or stuff, or it's like, again, like Kyron mentioned, a bear. Also, you see, or I think I heard something that hippos are freaking fast.
Yeah.
And it's like
there's fast, and
like,
then
how the hell does that make sense?
Yeah, these gigantic beasts of animals.
Yeah.
But even like giant like gorillas, like they are so buff and they have no concept of like working out. They're just naturally that buff.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if a gorilla had a concept of lifting?
Yeah.
And
no,
like resistance training?
Nope.
Like how jacked it would be.
And can you imagine being a camera person and being like out in like the wilderness or whatever?
Yeah, one
and
of
you
those
see
like documentary,
like a hippo like working out.
Oh my god. Trying to get abs. He's doing sit-ups.
Yeah. But Eddie wants to add to go along with what you'd mentioned as far as the scene with the armored. Eddie's mentioned that the shot where the armored is going right through the wall is top tier.
Oh yeah, that was a really good. I mean, Attack on Titan just has really good episodes in general, really good visuals in general. But for that to be like the opening, like season 1, it's all like in slow motion and everything. Yeah, that's a really good scene.
Yeah.
But also terrifying. So you're like, this giant thing is just sprinted through a wall.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lex, for the poll results. And now we have a Spotify question, right?
We have the Q&A. Yeah, we have the Spotify Q&A. So the Spotify Q&A that we asked you guys was... I have like a frog in my throat. I have a... Yeah. Armin struggles with Hanji's orders to kill Reina and Bertolt at all costs. You think Armin would have what it takes to kill one of them?
And this is obviously the moment where Hanji, realizing the monsters that they become, no longer wanting to capture them and bring them alive back to Trost to try to trap them and get them underground. Now it's, let's kill these guys.
Yeah.
Right? And then we saw
like it
where...
was like, avoid taking them alive at, like, stop them at all costs, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like that.
And Armin had that kind of like moment where he's like, obviously, he hesitated because it's like having the same reaction to what Eren is having, right? Where Eren's
because
like...
they went through a lot together. They bonded through battle.
Definitely. So I'm interested to see what some of the responses say.
Yeah. So we have Kyron. Kyron's response says, the skill, LOL, no.
It's very true.
Yeah, not even talking about like mentally.
Yeah.
Sorry, Armin.
Is Armin capable of it? No.
I don't think you're... Even if he wanted to, I don't think he could. Sorry. And then we have Eddie.
Very true, Kyron.
Who's also in chat.
Uh-huh.
He says, Armin at this point in the story doesn't use precise judgment like he does in the later seasons. Although if it came down to him killing one of them, he'll for sure second guess himself somewhat. Yeah, because he is still, like Eddie said, he is still very young in this. His mind isn't as sharp as it will get. Although he does have a very sharp mind, it's still like... He's more of a thinker.
Yeah, definitely.
Than a fighter.
Whatever we can do to prevent loss or prevent death or prevent, violence. But that's something that, honestly, I feel like...
he thinks to end conflict.
I feel like that's something that kind of grows within Armin as the season kind of progresses and we get into season 4 and stuff, because you can see that Armin really doesn't want to be a part of a lot of the violence, which is unfortunate. You can tell that he
doesn't like violence, conflict, death, war. Yeah. He doesn't like any of that.
Which is unfortunate for him because he is the most violent, Titan in terms of what the damage can do, right?
Yeah.
But I mean...
he understands what it takes, though. He still has a brain.
Yeah.
And he's still like, all right, this is for the greater good. Guess I'll have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but if somewhere down the line I can limit more violence from happening, then I'll do this now.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Kyron saying he sent that bear video on Instagram for reference.
Yeah,
okay, we'll have to check that out for sure.
I was gonna say I was gonna watch it after I finish the Q&As. And then Eddie says when he starts calling shots in season 3 is when it starts getting real.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he finds his confidence.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that when we are in season 3.
Yep, for sure.
And our next response is from B Dennis 7.
Awesome. Friend of the show, B Dennis.
Hello, B Dennis. Welcome back. Thank you for answering all of our Q&As.
Yeah, thank you.
He says, mostly not, with the crying emoji. I see him hesitating since they're friend and all. Plus, he knows that they're people, which makes it harder.
Yeah.
His first kill proves that so spoiler if you guys haven't seen season 3. His first kill proves that in season 3, even though it's a stranger attacking them in the wagon. Was that... They weren't strained in the wagon. No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Season 3. Sorry, I was thinking ahead. Yeah. That was still, that was his first human kill.
That was his first, killing an actual person.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, that wasn't a Titan. That was just like...
That's something that he had to do, because if he didn't do that, and if he were to hesitate, then I believe that Jean would have been the one to perish because of that, right? Which we see Jean is another person who hesitates.
Yes, for sure.
But and then Kyron's also adding that, but he still doesn't get that killer intent, though. He's mostly just big brained, which
I think he's just able to separate. I think that especially in later seasons, like in season 3,
very quickly says, I take it back.
Yeah, I take it back. Yeah, I will say that in season 3, it seems like he starts favoring more logic, reacting logically rather than emotionally, which is why we get to see so much growth and then him calling the shots in season 3 and everything. But I feel like at this point, he's definitely more of an emotional dandelion with a big brain.
Definitely.
For strategy, but the strategy is to limit conflict. Like, he does not want a conflict at all. And then, like, for that to know that those are people that he has grown with and faced challenges with and has bonded with, my answer is I agree. I don't think that I don't think that at this point, I don't think he's capable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I definitely agree with all our responses that we got. Thank you guys so much for that.
Really great analysis too, guys.
Yeah.
And like they're bringing up like references,
and even
really
like, you know, I like how Kyron just quick to the point. Skill wise, no.
No, yeah, skill wise,
and
nah.
Which is very true, obviously. But again, I mean, let's not forget that these guys just found out that like 2 people that they experienced pretty much just like hell with in training camp and everything and stuff like that grew to become these like soldiers and stuff.
Yeah.
They just found out that 2 of them are Titans. Like literally not too long ago. That became the truth right there. And so it's like, Armin, are you capable of killing these 2 people that you just found out are Titans, are traitors, are the enemy, are the monsters that created this entire, you know,
it's not a are you willing to?
This problem.
It's a can you?
Yeah. And
even
it's
if
like
you
so much to take in.
You?
Because it's like you're processing the fact that these 2 people of all people that I like, that I knew, people that, you know, maybe in Aaron's case, you know, considered, you know, brothers or you know, at least in terms of Rhino, like somebody that
hero
he looked up to, he wanted to be, right?
Or his role model is a better term.
Yeah, and I mean, they're already processing that whole entire dynamic of it. Now it's like Hanji's given the order to go ahead and kill these monsters. You know, it's like
you just have to separate that emotional
and talk about emotions.
Or you can use it to motivate you.
It
could go hand in hand, but it depends on how you use it.
But talk about emotion. What about that moment with, you know, kind of oblivious Connie?
Oh my gosh.
Just, you know, pleading to one of the scouts, one of the kind of like, you know, more superior scouts up there.
In one of the squads.
On top of the wall. You know, he's pleading with them. Please, go. Can you go help Bertold and Rhina? They don't have any gear.
Any ODM gear. Like, please go protect them.
Yeah, and then it's like, dude, Connie, are you like not on the same page as everyone else here?
Yeah. Like it is a funny moment because he is, he's dumb and he's oblivious. But also, like, he also has an emotional connection to these people.
Yeah.
For him to, like, the first words out of his mouth in that, like, entire episode was like, are they okay? Go protect them.
And the thing is, in Connie's sense, I mean, like, these are 2 people that he pretty much was so close to experiencing death with right there over in Utgard Castle.
Yeah.
When all hell broke loose, when the freaking monkey titans sent all the other titans to go ahead and take out, you know, the castle, right? And that is kind of like an experience that they all experience together. So it's like you kind of grow a bond in that sense, right?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
It's like moments like that where it's like, man, you know, obviously Connie wants them to be protected and to be saved and stuff, right? Not knowing the truth of it is that these 2
and him being aware that, like, him remembering that Utgard Castle, Rhina literally saved his life.
Saved his life, yeah. Which can be and just think about, like, when you go through moments like that, how difficult must it be to convince yourself, like wait, these 2 are like, these are the Titans, like
these are the enemies.
No, like,
that
there's
have
no
caused, way. Like, what
Rhina literally saved me. Why? Like, no, he wouldn't do that, right? And
coming to terms with that, like, actually, this person's been the enemy the entire time and is the reason why you are in the scout regiment now, and and
it's got to be so surreal realizing that the monsters have, like, in a sense, they kind of have like a soul. They have like they have emotions. They have, you know,
But
and
it's
realizing
so much
they're
easier
people.
to kill something that you just see as it's just a one-dimensional thing.
Yeah.
It's this titan, it's this monster.
Yeah.
Its only sole purpose is to want to take out humanity, kill it. That's so easy, one-dimensional. And then we have this, not even, this thing is like 3-dimensional. Like it was a comrade of yours, and it's a human.
And then the thing that makes it so difficult is like the years spent with the person and all the different experiences, the different moments, all the memories that you have with the person. And when you think about that and then you put it into that perspective, it can be very difficult to come to the unfortunate realization that that person that I thought that I knew in reality is a monster that wants to end humanity, you know? And
He's this
like,
big bear that tackled through the wall.
so when you have that in your mind, especially in a moment so fresh like this, it can be, I can only imagine how difficult it would be
Oh my gosh,
to try to kill
just
that person.
emotionally.
So, yeah, I mean, again, I like your guys' responses. So thank you, Kyron. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you, B. Dennis, for the responses. And I agree. I don't think anybody thinks that Armin is capable of killing either Bertold or Reina. One, for like Kyron mentioned, the skill set doesn't have that.
Yes, they're not really there yet.
But if Armin was somehow able to maybe outsmart them and to a point where they made them vulnerable, and then to go ahead and be able to use some sort of, I don't know, plan to kill them, I don't know if once the moment happened and it's like, oh my God, it worked. Wait, this is the moment. Like, I don't know if he'd be able to do it.
Once that opening does happen.
Yeah. Kyron has a question for us. Lex, can you read it, please?
Question. I know this is random, but if a Titan user falls from the same height of a fully formed colossal Titan, Armin Season 4, would they die, or would they heal, or would they die and then be healed and come back to life? That's true. Do they take fall damage? I mean, they take fall damage, but yeah, how much of them getting hurt is too much? Like, at what point is the injury beyond healing and coming back? Because like we have Ymir, who was like missing an arm, missing a leg, insides were completely scrambled, all cut up, bleeding, and she still survived. We have Eren, spoiler, who has all of his limbs chopped off.
Yeah. And it just takes him a while.
And he's still cool.
Yeah.
He's still good.
We've seen
Just
before in moments where when a Titan becomes very damaged and pretty much like, you know, that if the Titan, if you were to wait for your Titan to heal itself, you'd be waiting for a while. So it's almost like they decide to just like abort the Titan, and I mean, obviously if you're strong enough or, you know, skilled enough, they just kind of like will, you know, bring their Titan back or something. I don't know.
But then if you can't and you just have to eject, and then let's say you fall from like a colossal Titan height.
Yeah.
Do you just need to just steam heal your insides? It depends on if your like head explodes when you hit the ground. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
How much is too much?
Because I'm trying to think of if there's any moments where we've seen a Titan user like remove themselves from a Titan and like jump off and like to go ahead and like land on something or whatever, you know. I don't think there are moments where we've seen that, but I mean, I don't know. That's so interesting when you think about it in terms of like
the jump off and then turn into a Titan again.
Yeah.
And keep going. Or we've seen just like their actual Titan just falls and then the person crawls out of it. But does that person take damage when the actual Titan? Is the Titan, like when you're in the nape, it just protects you from all kind of fall damage, and if you're getting punched, you're just protected, or what?
Oh, I think if you're in the Titan, then yeah, you're protected by all the different muscle fibers and all that stuff, you know. And it's like,
I guess, you know, that is why the nape is the weak point.
It's like a cocoon of like muscle and stuff, right? That the Titan user.
You're in a padded room that's really warm.
But if, like, say, for like to give you a situation here, Lex, say Aaron is able to somehow, or with the help of, you know, obviously his friends, they're able to break and damage and shatter the armor around Rhina's nape. And what if Aaron were to just literally rip Rhina out from the nape and just like throw him,
like chuck him?
The Titan user throwing Rhina. Now, if Rhina goes,
I feel like
and
that's
he just
enough force.
Falls, and he hits the ground or whatever. Do we think Rhina? Do we think he's dead?
Well, because it's hard because they're Titan users.
I know. Or was it just like, again, like you mentioned,
if he's getting literally chucked to the ground? Again, it depends on if his like head explodes when it hits the pavement, or because then theoretically, let's say he were to die from that much force, now we just have to wait for some random person to be born with this Titan ability.
Yeah.
Like he can't eat, because like once that person's dead, once that person is dead, you can't eat them and get those colossal powers, get those powers of the Titan anymore, can you?
I don't think so. I think it's like, again, when the person themselves dies without like pretty much giving it to passing along to whoever the inheritor is, whatever, then I think it was explained that a random person is going to be born with the ability, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically any kind of death that doesn't involve you getting eaten.
And then, so, I mean, a couple things, Eddie chiming in saying that, I mean, if your consciousness is connected to the Titan, I'd say that it does hurt the person inside. And I agree with that too, in terms of if you're battling,
like pain receptor wise.
A Titan. I think that Aaron
but I
and
mean
Rhina
like
both
physically. Like I was asking like physically. Like if this, let's say Aaron gets punched hard enough in the side of the head and it turns his neck so much, is Aaron inside gonna like break his arm because
maybe
the neck turned, he got whiplash?
I don't know. I mean, I think the most damage that I've seen a Titan user take from inside a Titan was when the Thunder Spears absolutely blew off like Rhina's face.
Yeah.
And he has this like muscly kind of skull in there where he's kind of like, he obviously forgot what happened, and then it takes a moment for him to heal,
which is like incredible. That might be that might be the most that we've ever seen someone, like that we've seen a human so
like
close to death. A Titan user, so close to death.
Close to death, yeah.
But still be able to come back and heal.
Yeah. And then
and grow back hair.
Kyron is clarifying, saying that I was thinking about what Armin did in season 4, and then I thought about how he came out of the nape of the Titan and how he was 1,000 feet in the air. What if Armin fell off the Titan? That's what made me ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if Armin were to fall from that amount of feet, right, from that height,
I feel like it would just take him a long time. I don't think he would die. I think it would just take him a long time.
I think he would be in, let's just say for the sake of it, he would be in this comatose state.
Like similar to Ymir.
Yeah, Ymir is right now. You know,
Ymir right now.
Yeah. So very interesting. But thank you guys for that. So currently on our end, it's saying that that we were unable to connect to chat, attempting to reconnect. So if you guys can in chat just for test purposes, can you guys just say awesome? Thank you.
We saw Kyron,
Yeah, Kyron's
cool.
Interesting.
He says interesting. Yes, that is interesting.
Thank you for that test, Kyron.
Would you like me to share the video? The very quick video of the bear?
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
That he sent on the Instagram?
Yeah.
It's so fast.
Shoot.
That thing is so freaking fast. That's literally what it would look like with the armor coming at you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that is that's just not right.
Not into that. That's so colossal. We are fighting the slow colossal. That is that's why we came to be. Anyways, let's get into the episode.
Yeah, let's do it. We pretty much got into some good recap here. But yeah, so part 1 of Close Combat. Pretty much as we mentioned, the scouts had to deal with the Colossal, so they went in and tried to go ahead and kill the Colossal by going after the Nape. The Colossal is very slow with its strikes, so they were able to get to the Nape, but before they can actually attempt a strike at the Nape, the Colossal released a ton of steam, right? So the steam itself went ahead and burned, some of the scouts. They suffered severe burns and all that. And meanwhile, a lot of the other ones were able to escape. So now they're kind of in a wait and see mode now with the Colossal. Whereas
This is all why Ymir's having a nice sauna in the mouth.
yeah, whereas with Eren, he is on the ground, trying to deal with the Armor Titan, and we see that the Armor Titan is very quick, right?
Yes.
Eren himself is trying to go ahead and
Very
throw strikes.
mobile.
And then one thing that Mikasa, who was also there on the ground with Eren, is she noticed that Eren's punches were doing nothing to the Armor Titan. Like nothing. No damage whatsoever. Whereas we saw whenever the Armor Titan would land with a punch, it would be very devastating. The force of it, because of the armor and everything, would literally cause Eren to fly backwards.
Yes.
Right? And
Like
suffer
fly.
significant pain. So yeah, and now we're gonna see that Hanji and Squad 1, which we know that Armin is a part of, they're gonna join this fight down there, and they're gonna try to help Eren. Is there anything else that you can think about in terms of recap that we kind of missed from part 1?
No, I think that we got a pretty good recap.
I think so too. Yeah. So
Everything.
I guess we didn't mention the fact that Eren started getting in that kind of deranged, unhinged state again.
Yeah.
Right.
When we mentioned you can either use emotion, either detach emotion to fight or use emotion to fight, and it seems like he's using it.
Yeah, and so during this kind of moment where he's again in this kind of weird, erratic Titan state, he is trying to go after the Armor Titan, but again, it is not working because the Armor Titan is very strong.
Yes.
And then so Eddie's giving us an example here in terms of let's say with Eren fighting the Armor Titan. He's saying it's the same as if someone without armor was fighting against someone with steel armor. And yeah, and so I can only imagine how that fight would go. So that's pretty much what Eren is dealing with, right? So we see Eren going, and he's trying to throw a strike at the Armor Titan, but the Armor Titan is able to counter it by punching Eren in the face. And that's where we are going to resume this episode. All right, let's do it, guys. Again, this is Season 2, Episode 7, Close Combat, and this is Part 2 of our episode breakdown and discussion. All right. So we resume the episode with Rhina countering Eren's reckless attack with a straight punch that launches Eren flying backwards again. We see Eren's Titan launched in the air as he's falling in slow motion. And as Eren hits the ground, we are suddenly transported back to the cadet training days, as Cadet Eren falls on the ground during a sparring training exercise. Eren tells his training partner, "Hey, take it easy. That hurt. We're just sparring." And then we see who his sparring partner is. We see standing over him, Annie Leonhardt, with a training wooden rifle in hand. Eren continues telling Annie, "You're supposed to hold back a little." And then Annie rebuttals.
If you want to hold back, that's your business. I defend myself assuming you're coming at me with everything you've got. Otherwise, what's the point?
Annie condescendingly says,
Let's remember, I'm the girl. I'm weaker. I have to protect my frail little body from the big bad man.
A confused Eren responds, "What? Ha ha, Annie. Very funny. You're a riot. Frail little nothing. I'm the one who just got shoved in the dirt, you know." And then Annie answers.
Good point.
And then she drops the wooden rifle and begins walking closer to Eren, as Eren is now back on his feet.
That last move wasn't about who's stronger, okay? I was using a special defense technique. Comes in handy when your opponent has a few pounds on you.
Annie now gets into her kickboxing stance.
Trust me, you could benefit from learning it.
A frightened and nervous Eren says, "Sure, what do you say we take a break for now, though?" And as Eren finishes that sentence, Annie can be seen throwing a left hook that Eren dodges. But Eren is now in a vulnerable position as Annie adjusts by grabbing a hold of Eren by his right arm and head. She locks her hands together and then judo flips Eren backwards, causing him to get shoved right back into the dirt. Annie still has a hold of Eren on the ground as she now squeezes her arms together, choking Eren in a head and arm triangle choke. Eren squirms to try to somehow get free, but he's stuck. A suffocating Eren tells Annie, "Right, that's enough, Annie. You can let go." An intense Annie answers,
Come on, I barely showed you how this works and you're already surrendering? There's a twofold benefit here. Or don't you want to learn how to talk to women?
Eren, really struggling and beginning to turn purple, quickly answers, "Fine, whatever. Just please stop strangling me." Then Annie, still choking Eren, tells him,
Ah, so you are interested in what I can show you.
but then, suddenly, someone can be heard grunting as this person comes flying towards Eren and Annie. Eren in pain, quickly, Annie gets back to her feet and moves out of the way as Rhina comes flying in, landing directly on top of Eren. Eren in pain tells an injured Rhina, "Not really sure I want to know how you got here." But then, a motivated Mikasa enters the scene.
Hey, Annie. Your technique seems pretty solid. Teach me.
As Mikasa stares directly into Annie's eyes. Annie rolls her eyes and responds,
I'm flattered, but it's a method for normal people. So why would you ever need it?
At this point, everyone else sparring has stopped what they're doing to stare at Annie and Mikasa.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
That's you.
Still, I'm curious to know if it works on animals.
And then Annie rolls up her jacket sleeves and again gets into her kickboxing stance.
Let's find out.
Eren, still on the dirt, watching, says, "This is happening? Oh, crap." And then Connie and Sasha, the Taekwondo duo,
Yeah, they're
both
back.
run up as Connie asks, "Hold up! Are these two actually about to fight?" And then an excited Sasha adds,
This is gonna be epic.
Daz, in a crowd of gathering trainees, asks, Who do we bet on?" And then Marco answers, "What do you mean? Annie." But an upset Jean tells Marco, "What? Idiot. Dinner says Mikasa wipes the floor with her." And then we go back to Eren on the ground as Rhina asks Eren, "Which one of them you think's gonna win?" And then Eren, thinking about it, answers, "Well, But before we can hear if Eren answers, we get an intense shot of Annie in her stance, staring at Mikasa, as Mikasa stands confident and tall, staring right back at Annie. And then Eren finally answers, "How should I know?" And we finally get a shot of Mikasa and Annie in a stare down again, as both Eren and Rhina are on the ground, and everyone else surrounds them, all staring in awe. We see a lone white-colored tulip swaying in the wind, right in the middle between Annie and Mikasa. The scene goes dark. Very cool. Right, so Eddie's trying to say, never underestimate a woman. LOL, Annie.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so Annie, of course, is playing low tricks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Eddie's also saying that Connie and Sasha, they'll have me dead for sure.
Yeah.
And then Kyron, he's putting in a little
His
guess here,
prediction.
saying, I think Annie might have beat Mikasa. Okay. That's one
Well.
thing that's funny, Kyron, that you mentioned that, because I do want to get into that and
Yeah, I was gonna
what we think is
say.
going to happen. But let's talk about this moment here, because, again, we saw in part one of our episode breakdown and discussion of Close Combat, Eren was recalling, obviously, memories, right?
Yeah.
Of Rhina and all that. Moments where Rhina and Bertold both helped Eren through his training exercise, right? So now here we are again in this moment where he's literally in the middle of a battle with the Armor Titan, where Eren, we recall another training memory. And this is a memory where he's training with with Annie. So we know, obviously, being
Getting beat up.
the female Titan, she is she's very fierce.
Yes.
And also
Very
because of her dad,
great technique.
and because of all of the training that she had growing up as a young girl, she is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
She has
raised to be a soldier.
She has massive kicks that she throws. She
Very
obviously
good technique,
knows
skill.
how to sneeze.
Bless you. Yeah. What happens if
Thank
a Titan
you.
sneezes?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. But yeah, and then so Annie, she's obviously very tough, right? And so now, I don't even want to know how Aaron got stuck being her sparring partner.
Yeah.
Right. And I think this is another one of those little sparring sessions because we see that Annie is holding the wooden rifle, where you have to pretty much take the rifle away from the other person, right? Where the other person defends himself.
Sparring partner.
Yeah. So here we are now in this moment where Aaron's getting his ass kicked. Okay. And Annie decides to go ahead and try to bait him into, like, I don't know, just bait him into wanting to learn how to do this.
Wanting to learn.
I think just for the sake that she could maybe embarrass him, because she then pretty much baits him into dodging one of her punches just so that the idea wasn't to connect, but just so that she can get in close.
Yeah.
She can go ahead and get a hold of his arm and neck, flip him on his back, and then choke him. And it's not even like, okay, there, I got, no, she's squeezing.
She just wants to use these techniques that she has.
Yeah.
I just want to use this on someone.
Yeah. And then so we also see that, it looks like Reina's training partner is Mikasa, as Reina's getting his ass kicked.
Yes.
And he gets sent flying and he lands on Aaron, right? And so now Mikasa, she wants to go ahead and have Annie try that little technique on her. Okay. And I will say that what Annie says is kind of interesting, right? What she says, it's for normal people. Why would you even want to learn it?
Yeah.
But hey,
normal.
I've been wondering if it works on animals.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, okay.
Okay, fighting word.
Like, wow. And so
normal
we get a moment
people.
where I can only imagine if you have the two toughest training cadets, right? Like they're just staring down, they're squaring up. Everybody stops what they're doing.
Definitely.
Everyone
looks up. It's like, oh, is this happening?
Yeah. And then so now we get the moment here where I want us to get to give our predictions on what we think happened, right? As Kyron continues to elaborate, saying that I don't think Mikasa was actually trained to fight with her hands like Annie. Yeah, and as I mentioned, Annie, she was trained at a very young age by her father, who was very diligent, very strict, and had her training in harsh weather conditions.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just constant with the training and stuff. So yeah, Annie, she's a little weapon. And then to top it off, she also inherited Titan abilities. So
yeah, great.
So like I said, a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, I mean, Mikasa hasn't had that kind of extensive training.
No.
Right? She just kind of has that Ackerman kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Where something kind of clicked and pretty much unlocked her kind of inner abilities and strength and stuff, right? So that's something that's very interesting. But Lexi, can you please tell me what you think happened?
I'm going to agree with Kyron and say that I think Annie won because of the specific sparring that's going on. I think that Annie won in terms of sparring, but I think that Mikasa wins in almost everything else.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Like it. I, on the other hand, think that Mikasa won that sparring session because
I really wanted to say Mikasa, but
because of what I heard in the video game.
I know, I was gonna say, I don't remember what the answer was.
Yeah.
But
So as I've mentioned before in the Attack on Titan video game, that I believe is Attack on Titan 2. Anyways, you go through these kind of storylines and you go through these little kind of character dialogues with the characters in the anime. And so one of the character dialogues you have with Jean is Jean brings up the moment again, asking who won? That's right. Who won between that sparring session between Mikasa and Annie.
Yeah.
And you obviously have the option of choosing either Annie or Mikasa. And so I too thought that Annie won it, right? However, Jean's response is different, where he will correct you and saying like, wait, no, like that's not true because I bet he bet his dinner, right, or whatever and stuff.
Yeah, he says he bets.
Yeah,
that...
dinner says Mikasa wipes the floor with her.
Yeah.
Right. He pretty much will try to correct you and be like, no, that doesn't sound right. I remember I bet my dinner on it.
Yeah.
And then when you go ahead and you say you decide to choose Mikasa as the option, he says, oh yeah, that's right, because I remember I bet dinner on it. So
that kind of, I mean, depending on how canon the video game is, seems like Mikasa won that.
Well, that's just what the logic is in terms of the video game. Again, this is a video game. As Eddie here in chat says, I was waiting for AJ to bring up that part of the video game.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason why I am going with that. But again, I mean, is this video game canon?
I think it's close, though. Like, no matter what, I think it's realistic if either of them won.
Yeah. But I think part of it, too, is maybe Mikasa does have that kind of upper hand because she has that weird kind of Ackerman abilities.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And
you can train since birth, but you're not an Ackerman.
Yeah.
Sorry,
for sure.
Annie.
I would have loved to have seen that sparring session. That's something that we never get clarity in. So,
like, was it immediate? Was it like, did it take a while? Was it like, it had to be such like an interesting sight to see? Where I mean, obviously, even by just like an inkling of it, just a little inkling of it, everyone was like, "Is this happening?" Everyone's making bets and trying to see who's gonna win. Everyone's watching and everyone's so interested, even to the point where Rhina's like, "Aaron, who do you think, Aaron? Who do you think?"
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess Aaron would be the best person to ask because he's sparred against both of them.
Yeah.
So.
Very interesting.
I guess he would know.
Yeah. I would love to go ahead and find out for sure. I want to try to look it up, see if I can find anything.
Your phone case is matching your outfit. That's
I know.
cute.
I noticed that too. It's all
about theme.
About that Kirby.
Full on in theme.
Got that Majin Buu vibe.
That Majin Buu.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go ahead and look it up, Lex? My phone's acting a little weird.
Look up.
I just typed in who won between Annie and Mikasa training. Just to see what people have to say online. Or if there's any sort of, like, I don't know, like answers, which I know there isn't going to be any answers. But, yeah, again, that would have been such a cool moment to see. Whether it had been, you know, kind of a callback that we get, you know, a little cool little moment that us fans get maybe in like season 4 or something, or.
Okay. So I don't know how legit this is, but someone answered by saying that the creator Isayama has actually given us an answer.
Interesting.
For this. And he said that no one won. Apparently, Keith Sodus appeared and stopped the fight, then ordered everyone to go to bed.
No. Not what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's apparently what the answer was.
So they didn't even fight.
And then a lot of people are kind of just voicing their opinions, saying that they think it's Annie. Like, obviously, Mikasa's a beast, has incredible power, but I don't think that she can beat Annie because Annie's basically a master martial artist.
Yeah.
Someone else says Mikasa would have won because she's an Ackerman.
Yeah.
Another person says this was asked before to Isayama, the author of the manga, and his answer was that Keith appeared and stopped the fight, ordering everyone to go to bed. Come on, Sodus.
Yeah, Kyron.
So no one won. We'll never know which of the two did win.
Kyron's throwing tomatoes right now.
Yeah. Tomato. No.
Yeah.
Boo.
Well, that's anticlimactic.
Keith. Come on. But yeah,
that is something that would happen in the show where it's like, you know, a moment's about to happen. Oh my god. And all of a sudden just, hey, what's going on here?
I know.
Like, damn it. Come on, Keith.
Dang it.
But yeah.
I feel like that is realistic of what would happen too, though. because I don't know if the game is canon, and then I don't know how real it is, but multiple people are saying.
Well,
that
we heard it
Isayama
from
answered.
the creator's voice, or heard it from the source itself, and he says that nobody won.
Like, no one won. He stopped it. Ordered everyone to go to bed. No one won.
Damn.
Dang it.
That sucks.
And that seems like something that would happen because I feel like it would be brought up more if it wasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You're right.
Okay.
Well, that's a bummer. But yeah, so let's continue on with this episode then.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to now Aaron's Titan. Aaron's Titan finally falls into the dirt after getting an intense counter from Rhina's Armor Titan. Aaron, inside of his Titan, recalling that memory, asks himself, wait, how did that play out? And why is he coming to me now? Is this my life flashing before my eyes? So what? Who gives a shit? And Aaron's Titan stands back up as Aaron becomes unhinged inside of his Titan again. It's not like it matters. Not when I feel like this. Then Armin, watching from the side of the wall next to Hanji, screams out, no! Back down! You can't win in a fist fight! Make a break for the wall! Aaron, please! Don't be rash! And then Mikasa lands on the ground nearby Aaron and Rhina, and she frustratedly looks down at her shattered and destroyed blades. Aaron's Titan then lets out a ferocious echoing roar as his Titan twitches with angered frustration. Mikasa yells out to Aaron, and Armin, watching Aaron in a state of mind, says, oh no! Then Hanji, also watching, says,
he's blinded by rage!
And then we see both Aaron's Titan and the Armored Titan throwing a right punch at each other simultaneously. However, right before Rhina's punch could land, Aaron baited him in close as he ducks the punch, grabs a hold of Rhina's arm and head, locks his hands together, and just like Annie, Judo flips Rhina's Armored Titan directly on his back. So Moblit, watching as he's next to Armin, and Hanji asks, what the hell is he doing? And then Armin, realizing that this looks familiar, says, wait, holy crap, that's Annie's technique. Then Aaron in his Titan tells Rhina, you know what? There's no telling what you murdering hypocrites were trying to accomplish. But now that I think about it, your master plan seems to have a few holes in it. And then the Armored now tries to counter by rolling Aaron over his back. A pissed off Aaron continues, want to eradicate humanity? Maybe next time, don't teach me how to kick your ass.
True.
And as Aaron wraps his legs around the Armored's neck and now has him deep in a triangle choke, Aaron squeezes with all his strength as we notice that some of the armor is beginning to crack. Aaron takes notice and says, it's working. I've got him locked. There's still a chance. And then the armor continues to weaken and crack. And Rhina now tries to grab onto Aaron's leg while he tries to stand back up. But Aaron tells Rhina, I don't think so. And then Aaron transitions from a triangle choke to an armbar as he gets Rhina onto the ground again. Aaron tells Rhina, you're not going anywhere. And as Aaron applies pressure on Rhina's elbow, the pressure causes the armor around the elbow to shatter. Aaron's Titan lets out another ferocious roar as he rips off the Armored Titan's arm. The Armored Titan just growls in frustrated pain. The flying arm lands next to Mikasa as she continues to watch, now in shock. A shocked Mikasa says,
he did it!
Then Armin, he now lands next to Mikasa. Aaron's Titan now stands back up on his feet in a fighting stance as Rhina's Armored Titan is on his knees staring at his missing arm as steam surrounds the arm. Armin tries again. Aaron, can you hear me? Run away! You've got to get closer to the wall! They're trying to abduct you! We can't let them do that! Trust me, escape is our best option! And Aaron's Titan appears to have paid attention to Armin, but so has Mikasa. Mikasa, disagreeing, tells Armin,
okay, sorry, that sentence looked really weird to me at first.
Really?
Okay, I'll say it, yeah. You say that, but Armin, come on. They're not just gonna let us leave.
The armored titan continues to growl as it now gets back up onto his feet. Goggles the scout. He joins Armin and Mikasa and warns them.
Both of you, fall back now!
And we see Armin obeying the order as Mikasa hesitantly obeys. The armored titan now begins to walk towards Eren. We see Eren's titan preparing for the armored's attack. As Mikasa uses her ODM gear to retreat back to the side of the wall, she glances up as a giant shadow covers her. We see Armin returning to the side of the wall to rendezvous with the other scouts as a large gust of wind passes by them. As the wind stops, Armin turns to see that Eren's titan has listened to him and has returned to the wall with him. Keiji tells Eren, "Nice one, Eren! Good call!" And then Mikasa, now with Armin, tells him,
Looks like he's in control again.
and Armin tells Mikasa, "Yeah, but Reina's not just going to let him go. You're right. Escape's impossible." As we see Reina getting closer and closer. Interesting.
So, even though Eren is seemingly unhinged, he still knows what's going on and still is in control.
Yeah. Kyron saying mission failed. We'll get him back next time. Or we'll get him next time. Also, Kyron saying your Eren voice is crazy. Wow, thank you for that.
You're really good.
Kyron, appreciate
I was gonna
that.
say that your Armin voice is really good too.
Yeah.
But
they're the two I feel like I got a decent grasp of.
Yeah, I think you have those ones down for sure.
Yeah. And then Eddie also saying, "OMG, Reina looks kind of funny without an arm."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also the moment too where he realizes like, what the hell? As he he's on his knees. One, he just got, manhandled by Eren, courtesy of, Annie's techniques.
Yeah, Annie's technique.
Which we see that apparently, I don't want to say fast learner Eren is, but he's able to retain those kind of moments that that happened to him, right? Because he did it earlier with when Annie was training with Eren, and she taught him how to kind of pretty much use somebody else's weight against them, right? Mm-hmm. And so what does he do? In a moment back over in their quarters when him and Jean are arguing, and Jean comes in and try to shove Eren.
Yeah.
The moment kind of freezes as he literally does the same thing that Annie did to him to Jean, right?
Yeah.
So here we are again now, where Annie is teaching Eren.
He just needs to experience
do this,
it, and then he'll know.
Yeah, and so now Eren is, using the same techniques on Reina.
Mm-hmm.
Technique.
Technique. Technique.
But yeah, so it's a moment too when he kind of transitions Reina back to from a triangle choke to an arm bar, and he sees that the force of it is literally shattering his armor. Mm-hmm. He rips his arm. And then so when Eren gets back to his feet, Reina's there on his knees looking down at his missing arm.
That just happened?
And
really,
he's got to be so surprised because that's probably the first time that's happened. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And yeah. So
he's just as shocked.
Yeah, he's saying that's called judo, and definitely so
interesting.
Let's kind of talk about again this moment that happened where Eren kind of goes from this moment, this weird kind of brink moment where he's again like starting to lose control, he's starting to get pissed off, he's starting to kind of like get really, really emotional and stuff, right? But I think that's maybe just kind of like a little bit of a baiting kind of ploy, because we see that he was in control this entire time.
Yeah.
As he recalled the moment. He's even kind of like, wait, like, why am I thinking of that moment now? Is my life flashing before my eyes? And he just realized, like, who cares? Who gives a shit? And then, he goes and he does the same move, right? And then Armin is pleading to Eren to get to the wall, right? Because he understands that they want Eren, right? So if Eren continues to go ahead and try to fight, that he's only making things easier for them.
Yeah.
Right? And so it'd be more difficult if he kind of retreats and goes to the wall where the other scouts are and stuff, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And well, there's a moment where Mikasa doesn't agree, because she's, her explanation is that they're not just going to leave them alone.
Yeah.
Right. Which is true.
Let him leave.
Right. And it's something that Armin even realizes, as they go back to the wall and they see that Eren actually listened. Right. And so he is in control and he's following along with his with this
Yeah.
plan,
But
which is
interesting wording by Mikasa when she says he's in control again.
yeah,
Which
yeah, it's a good feeling, right, to have this
Yeah.
Titan in control, right? Because we want to go back to the first
Yeah.
victory that.
But does she
humanity
mean like
had.
again as in like, oh yes, the last time he was a Titan, he was in control. Let's make sure that he's in control again. Or is it like she thought he was in control when he first transformed and then he lost control and now he's back in? Like I don't know what she's insinuating.
I'm
when she
thinking
says
that it's a
again.
moment where, I mean, we saw Eren literally, before he got, countered and punched and all that he was losing control.
Okay,
He was
yeah.
twitching. He was getting all weird
Oh,
and stuff like that,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
was like
true.
becoming very like, again, this like
Almost turn into
deranged
that.
kind of
What,
like
what did we
animal.
what did we name him?
I know,
his
I was trying to
berserker?
remember. Yeah, Berserker Eren,
His
maybe.
berserker Aaron.
But he was becoming the Berserker Eren.
Yeah.
Right? And that only kind of like lasted for so long until he got, some sense knocked into him.
Yeah.
So I think that when Mikasa's referring to, again, I think it's like the moment where when Eren was in control of his Titan form while he had the boulder, on his back and stuff.
Yeah.
That's one thing, kind of like, I think they try to like differentiate a little bit too of when he's in control, when he's not, because it seems that when he's not in control, his eyes are this glowing green, right? But then when he's in control, you see in the episode, you can actually see his pupils. You can actually see like almost like
you can
the person
see.
in there,
Yeah.
So I think that's when it kind of like will kind of show us that Eren is in control of his
he's in
Titan.
control. Yeah.
So that's how I kind of like,
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to see that.
But yeah, so now Eren is in control, as we just mentioned, and he's following along with this plan to at least get back to the wall. But
He's smart now. He's listening.
We also see that Reina, who is again missing an arm, right? He is now still in pursuit of Eren as he continues walking towards him.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's continue on here.
Can't pull that move again, so
Yeah. All right. So continuing on with the episode now. Now, Hannes and another garrison soldier has returned to notice the massive colossal titan on top of the wall. Hannes, noticing this massive titan, says, "What the hell?" And Hannes now lands on top of the wall next to Historia. Hannes takes a long look at the titan as he says, "The colossal titan. I knew it." Hannes, we can see, begins trembling. Why did he show up here of all places? Then Hannes turns his attention to Historia to ask her, "What's going on? What's going on with Eren? Where is he?" And Historia nervously answers,
he and the others are over that way.
as she points in their direction. Hannes runs to the edge of the wall and looks down. Hannes watches Section Commander Hanji using her ODM gear to land on top of a Titan's shoulder. A shocked Hannes says, "What? So, I take it that's his Titan form, huh?" And then we now go back to, we now go to Eren's shoulder. As Hanji tells him,
Listen up, Aaron. If we're going to get you out of here, you've got to buy us some time. Stop Reina dead in his tracks. Then you can manage to break off his leg and another one of those joint holds.
as we see the armored Titan walking in their direction.
Our blades don't do much good against him. He can't be outmuscled, but he can be outsmarted if you play it right.
And then Eren's Titan nods in approval. Hanji then appears to blush as she stares at Eren's Titan. And then Hanji makes a strange sound. Then we now see Mikasa with a troubled look on her face as she waits on the side of the wall. Mikasa appears to be in deep thought, but is interrupted as Armin tells her, "Mikasa, take my blades. I want you to use them." And we see Armin, he's preparing to hand Mikasa his spare blades as Mikasa looks down and stares at her two shattered blades. We go back to Hanji as she finishes telling Eren.
I'm counting on you.
And Hanji then retreats back to the side of the wall. Okay. We'll get to the Hanji part in a bit.
Yes, we will.
But Hannes, who an episode ago, 2 episodes ago, I can't remember exactly. Hannes explained to the scouts that, again, he didn't see the breach. There was no hold or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he continues on with whatever he needs to do, and he leaves, right?
Yeah.
He obviously comes back because he sees that something's happening over there,
What
right?
is going on?
And then he sees the colossal, and we see that in the moment.
I saw
kind of
lightning.
again, it kind of like, for him, it's something that he was there, through the first colossal sighting.
Yeah.
Right. And we see that Hannes, he begins like kind of trembling, at the sight of the colossal titan.
Well, because it's been every time the colossal titan has been around, given there's only been 2 times before this, but every time it's happened, there has been such colossal damage.
Yeah,
like there has been such great damage and death and destruction. Yeah. So, I mean, I would react the same way. Be like, oh, crap. Like, it's just like the human response to be like, you see this colossal, the colossal is here. That means a lot of people are going to die and a lot of damage is going to happen. Yeah. That's just the immediate response.
And then, so the first thing he asks Historia is he asks, like, what's going on with Eren? And where is he? Because obviously he's humanity's hope, right? And so he wants to know where the hell he is, right? And so Historia pretty much directs him in the direction where he's at. And I forget, this is the first moment, right? Is this the first moment where Hannes sees Eren in his Titan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because he wasn't there during
Annie's, him fighting Annie.
Yeah, or he wasn't there during the sealing the breach with the boulder, right?
No, he wasn't there either. Yeah. So this is Hannes' first time seeing this person who he's known since was a child since day 1, even before day 1. Yeah. And now is seeing this was once child that you saved.
He's all grown up now.
Saving others as this Titan. Yeah. Like, I like how his reaction, like he sees Hanji ODM onto his shoulder. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, and then now he's like, whoa.
Like, oh, it's probably Eren.
So that's his Titan form, huh? And yeah. So Hannes sees and experiences the sight of Eren's Titan for the first time. And let's go to Hanji in her little moment here with the Titan. And she goes from being like a section commander. She's telling the Titan the order.
Very, and has much intention with his words.
It's like she's talking to one of her scouts. But then the moment where the realization set in for her that the Titan literally turned and like nodded.
Yeah, like acknowledged her. Like, yes, I hear you. Got it.
And so it's like, she's like, oh my gosh. For her, this is like a celebrity.
Yeah, this is like literally meeting her celebrity.
That, like,
and they acknowledge you.
Right? And she begins blushing at the sight that like this Titan can understand me.
He hears me.
Right? And so
after all those years of her talking to Titans and then just trying to bite her head off.
Yeah. And she goes and she makes a weird noise.
Yeah, it's almost like a dove, but like in more amazement. It's really hard to describe the noise, but just like
it's so like just excitement and like oh my god. It's like but yeah, so Hanji,
she's just so amazed. She's it literally is like your dream celebrity acknowledging you. Yeah. After years of trying to get them to notice you. One is hearing your commands and is like, right. Yeah. Yes.
And then, Armin, being knowing that it's a smarter play, he goes and he gives Mikasa his, remaining spare blades, right? Something that we also have seen.
You have more use than I do.
We've seen, Armin do before, where, through Armin's first experience with Titans and stuff, where he really wanted to kill himself, he decided to give Mikasa his blade. Just leave me with this one, whatever. Yeah. And again, now he's giving Mikasa the spare blades because Mikasa just tried chipping away at,
just like
some of the armor.
Doled the heck out of it. She just has handles now.
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
She has butter knives now.
And so Hanji tells Eren that like she's counting on him, right? And yeah. So then Hanji, she decides to go ahead and go back to the wall. And so now continuing on, we now see Eren standing tall as Reina still slowly walks towards him. Eren now thinks to himself, this is the one time where running away guarantees victory. You guys are screwed for letting us see your true colors. You've backed yourself into a corner. Then Eren stops as he notices the armored titan now charging towards him. As Reina charges and plants his feet, we notice the cracked armor surrounding his legs crack and shatter off, now exposing a weak point. Reina continuing his charge towards Eren. Both Armin and Mikasa watch as a shocked Armin says, "What the? He's fast!"
Like a bear.
Yeah, like a bear. And then Reina then tackles Eren by the waist and drives him into the side of the wall. Eren drops to the ground and notices Reina quickly following his attack with a strong right punch. Eren, seeing the punch getting closer, says, "Shit! The leg! Go for the leg!" Eren then grabs Reina's right leg to try to sweep him to his back. Reina starts aggressively throwing punches towards Eren's head, but Eren is able to dodge each strike as he bobs and weaves. Armin, giving advice, yells to Eren, "Don't let Reina pin you! Get up!" And Mikasa also screams out,
"Throw him!"
Then Eren, listening, then sweeps Reina to his back, allowing Eren to get back onto his feet. Eren steps back as he says, "Damn it! There's too much power behind his attack!" Reina is already back on his feet, preparing another attack on Eren. Two scouts above using their ODM gear. One notices and says, "Since when is he so light on his feet?" And then the other scout responds,
"We're completely and utterly useless."
We see Hanji and Mikasa both using their ODM gear, and Hanji says,
"No, it's not feasible that his body is as hard as stone from head to toe. He couldn't move as fast if that were the case. Warriors used to sheathe themselves in armor, way back in the olden days. They had to leave certain sections uncovered for freedom of movement. Though, like the armpits and groin or the spot behind the knee."
Then Mikasa, listening, realizes as she notices the weak spot on the unarmored back of the knees. Reina charges at Eren again, and Reina, being too close, Eren tells himself, "I can't dodge this." Then Eren then becomes determined. "Well, if I'm gonna get slammed, bring it!" And then the armored titan tackles Eren again, but this time, Eren quickly grabs a hold of Reina's neck and wraps his legs around the armored titan. Eren drops Reina face first into the dirt as he yells out, "You're mine, you son of a bitch!" Then Eren, having Reina trapped in a guillotine choke, begins aggressively applying pressure and choking Reina. The scouts watching from above take notice as Keiji says, "Yeah, that's how it's done!" Then Eren continues telling himself, "Got him. Now it all boils down to strength." Reina grabs onto Eren's arm, trying to release the pressure. But then we see Mikasa from above, coming down to help and strike Reina as she draws out her blade. Eren, losing grip, says, "Damn it, I'm slipping!" And then Mikasa comes down from above, in a very graceful manner, I will say.
Yes.
And slices the back of Reina's knee. Eren notices Mikasa's help, as Hanji notices as well.
"Nice cut!"
And Mikasa retreats to a safe location, and we notice the armored titan groaning in pain as Eren still has him in a chokehold. Eren tells Reina, "Try fighting back minus a leg." And then Eren arches his back, applying even more intense pressure on the choke. We see shards of armor breaking and flying off of the armored titan's nape. Armin and the other scouts watch in awe as the plan appears to be working. Armin screams out in support, "You've got this!" Keiji screams out, "Go for it, Eren! Rip the traitor's head off! Drag him out in the open!" We continue to see the intense pressure being put on Reina's neck as the armor continues to become vulnerable. Eren tells himself, "I can win! I can beat Reina! He's going down!" And then Reina continues to struggle as we see the intense pressure of the choke and the pressure of him biting down on his teeth, causing his teeth to begin to shatter. Reiner digs his fingers deep into the ground, into the dirt, and he begins dragging Eren closer to the wall. Armin, confused, says, What's he? And then a confident KG watching says, good luck, pal. Another scout says,
You've got him. Keep it up.
and then Reiner continues to struggle and growls as he continues to drag Eren. But then, suddenly he just stops next to the wall. Armin, wondering, asks, what's he doing? Why would he stop here? And then Armin looks up. And then we see the Armor Titan let out a loud, echoing roar. And then all the scouts stop what they're doing. They just wait. Hanji, taking precaution, orders her scouts.
Everyone be on guard. He's calling for backup.
We scan the surroundings, and we see nothing. We see empty, open plains. Goggles alerts Hanji.
No visuals of incoming Titans yet.
Keiji chimes in. He ain't got a chance in hell. Try screaming for help without a head, asshole. It's almost over. As we notice Titan blood now spraying from the back of Reiner's nape. Connie on top of the wall watching says, I don't like this. There had to be some reason for that scream. And then suddenly, Connie and the others on top of the wall begin to hear cracking coming from the direction of the colossal Titan. Connie now says, what the? No. And then we go back to Reiner, about to be maybe decapitated from Eren's chokehold. And then suddenly, we see the colossal's ribs deattach to the wall, and they all snap off. And then the colossal, now showing a skeletal skull for a face, begins to timber. A scout from on top of the wall screams down to Hanji and the others, above you! Look out! Eren stops. He looks up and he gasps as he now sees a Ghost Rider looking colossal Titan free falling above him and Reiner. The Ghost Rider colossal with its mouth open is about to fall on Eren, and then to be continued. Man.
Those to be continues really hit at the worst times, don't they? Or the best times.
Just when you were going to go ahead and rip that fool's head off.
I know. It was looking so good, too. But also, round of applause for AJ's voice acting. He had to voice like 17 characters this episode. Yeah, that was
Thank you
really
for
good.
that.
Good job, AJ.
Thank you. Let's give an applause to Lexi as well for voicing those characters
the same
as well.
characters I always voice.
Yeah, I mean, we actually saw like
There was a plan and it was working so well.
the armor on the
doing
Armor
so
Titan was
good.
beginning to shatter because of the pressure, right?
Yeah.
And because of just the sheer force
And the teamwork between Mikasa's graceful cutting
yeah.
and Hanji's
Can't
big
forget about
brain and
then Rhino just lets out a freaking scream.
yeah.
And this is a moment that I can't help
me.
but
Brother.
I can't help but recall when Sasha heard Annie screaming from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasha mentioned that it was what?
It sounds like I know that sound. It's when an animal is backed into the corner and
Yeah.
backed into a corner and has like nothing left to lose.
Yeah. And I couldn't help but just kind of like go back to that moment, right? Where again, it's like, they're so close. They had Annie, right? They were going to go ahead and kind of take their time to go ahead and try to just see who this person is,
Yeah.
right? Who the traitor is.
Yes.
And then she calls for the backup, which I think is why, because Hanji, she was there at that moment and she experienced that Titan roar.
Yeah.
She saw what came next, right? So she tells her scouts to be on guard
Yeah.
and, keep an eye out for.
Yeah. Calling for
He's
backup.
calling for
Yeah,
backup.
because that's what happened before in the past.
Yeah.
Like be on guard. See, like, don't just assume that screaming is, they're in pain. Yeah, keep screaming
And-
like one of the scouts does.
Yeah. So some of the scouts that are there, they go ahead and they kind of look around. They're waiting, right? And then we see that the scouts, they relay to Hanji that there's no incoming Titans, that there are no Titans to be.
It's
to be,
clear plains.
Yeah. And so this kind of just makes it a little bit even more chilling in my eyes, where it's like he is like knowing who they are, right? And such a last ditch effort, Reina is screaming out to Bertold, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's like listen for my scream. And like, this isn't premeditated
not
at
at
all.
all.
Because even like the initial transformation, Bertold
Yeah.
was like, right now?
Yeah.
We're doing this? Like, really? So I don't think it's a premeditated, like, okay, you stay on the wall and I'm going to crawl over as close as I can and you can topple over and say, like, I think it was genuinely Reina being like, Birdie, what are you doing? I'm dying over here. Please help me.
Yeah.
And like genuinely screaming for help.
it's literally like a moment where even, excuse me, I might have just destroyed my voice.
Honestly,
But
this podcast taking a toll.
when Aaron is getting choked out by Annie, right? And he's like Annie, okay, that's it, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like this
Okay,
is
you
another
can let go
moment
now.
where Reina's like Bertold, you know, whatever. He's like,
please.
right? And so we get this freaking creepy look of the Colossal, where we see he's exuding so much and releasing so much steam that we know that it takes a toll on the colossal body. The body begins to pretty
Basically,
much like
the mass is
deteriorate.
basically he's basically evaporating.
Yeah. And so now the muscle tissue is growing smaller, and we see that now as referred to as a Ghost Rider Colossal,
Yes.
right?
He does looks very similar.
And the illustration that we see is so freaking terrifying because can you imagine being Aaron?
Just seeing
Being
that
so close
giant...
to freaking ripping this traitor's head off. Then you see this massive Colossal Titan in such a freakish
just
manner.
all skeleton.
All skeleton falling on you with its mouth wide open. And you see in that
And
that
like
moment.
with intention too.
You see in that moment, the mouth literally with it being open is about to like almost like consume like both of them.
Yeah.
Right? That's how big the Colossal is. Yeah. So Eddie also mentioned in chat that part when the Colossal starts to drop is like, I felt that.
Yeah.
And he says, and AJ and Lexi really coming through for us, trying to make the podcast authentic as possible with the voice acting.
Oh, thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie. We appreciate the kind
try
words,
our
my
best.
friend. Yeah.
We really do try
and
our
that's what it
best.
is because again, you know, we're all fans of AOT, right? So it's like if
We're
we're
not
gonna talk
voice
about it,
actors.
we're gonna do it right. We want to, you know, honor the episodes that we go ahead and we break down, or by trying to do the best we can to go ahead and bring the characters to life and bring the scenes to life. And the idea is that for anybody listening to it, I want you to recall the moment. Anybody who knows AOT, I want you to listen
want
to
you to
us, and I want you
visualize
to
it,
actually
like you're
exactly
watching
visualize the scene, because that's what it's all about, man. You know, we want to just kind of create that authentic, you know, kind of like, you know, just bring these
I
episodes
want
to
you to
life.
see what we were seeing.
Yeah. And I know that we mentioned before that we would absolutely love to be voice actors. You know,
Oh, yeah,
we
definitely.
aspire to be that. You know, and this is kind of like also a fun little perk that we do with the podcast is, you know, we get to go ahead and kind of
Hone in on our voicing skills.
bring these characters to life and stuff. You know, and we do the best that we can. Yeah, I would just love to go ahead and continue to bring these characters to life for you guys. And Eddie also chimed in and Lexi has a great point. Just goes to show how great of partners they were together. The way they are able to just read each other in times of quick judgment, like that's just perfect.
Yeah,
Definitely. You know,
because like I said, it's not a premeditated thing.
Nope.
It was very much just like okay, like I need help. I'm gonna get as close as I can to you, and then I trust you to do what you got to do and save us and da da da.
Yeah.
And yeah, that does show how they were. Yeah, they're really, really great, like partners.
Yeah, I mean, they have that again, that kind of like that same wavelength. They seem kind of like that chemistry that they have.
Yeah.
You know, where they are able to kind
They
of
know what each other's thinking.
you know, not have the coordinated attacks, not have the kind of like already planned, you know, whatever the
They just have
the
trust
agenda
in
is.
each other.
yeah, trust that the other person will be there
Yeah.
for sure, right?
And he knows that he's just sitting up there. So I'm sure Birdie's initial like transformation too was just like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything rash. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be here for support in case he needs me.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into towards the end of this episode when we see the Colossal looking like Ghost Rider and
Yeah.
coming in with his mouth wide open after being a skeleton head, a skull.
Yeah.
Where is Ymir at this point?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Where did she go?
Yeah.
Did she what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Because the Titan himself, the Colossal, opens up his mouth, right? And we don't see what the heck happens.
No, there's no Ymir in there.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some more kind of clarification in the next episode when we go ahead and we actually look at the episodes. We try to, we go through our process of
yes,
the
of
notes
actually
and stuff,
analyzing.
right?
And weirdly enough, we see things that we didn't see before when we go and actually analyze and rewatch.
Maybe we'll get the answers at that point, but that is a great question though, for sure.
Like, where the heck did she go? And then the other
guy's dead.
scout, the other guy, sorry.
Yeah.
Birdie's a cannibal.
I'm convinced that Ymir's only able to survive because she is a Titan user.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, definitely.
Whereas the other person's not, and so it's probably their bodies
obviously
melting.
he didn't swallow her, obviously. Otherwise, he would he turn into a jaw? I don't know.
We talked about it, and I don't think that the Titans will kind of like, at least for those two Titans, I don't know if that would.
Yeah, I don't think a jaw and a colossal could combine.
Yeah.
But yeah, he obviously doesn't swallow her. He just is keeping her in his mouth. But then, like, is there a point where when he turns into, like, his head is like a skull? Is there, like, openings for her? And then there's I don't know. And then he falls down, opens his mouth wide open. Where is she? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out next episode. Sure. Tune in, guys.
But this moment here that we are talking about is just further indication that for the poll question, the right choice is to stay up top of the wall.
Yeah.
Because if, say, again, as the both of us, as Eddie and as Kyron, have all chosen to be up there on top of the wall, right? We're kind of in a wait and see approach.
Yes.
All we would have had to deal with was just the Colossal releasing steam. We're off at a safe distance, right? Okay.
Checking to see if that stream was to call in others, looking at checking surroundings.
But then, we see our threat go and just fall, and like, okay.
Sorry, there's not much we could have done. Sorry,
we're not on the ground, and we're not going to be in that freaking giant explosion and that crazy little chaotic cloud. So again, it's
just
further proof that
we'll support from there.
Yeah, the best choice is to be on top of the wall.
Yeah, we survived, guys. Good job.
Yeah. So
for now.
But one thing we definitely saw is we saw a weak point in Rhina and his armor titan.
The plan was executing extremely well.
Still haven't quite figured out that colossal titan.
I know.
But we'll get you. We'll get you, Birdie.
We'll get you. He was withering away. We were close. Yeah. We were very close.
So
he was just being a heater up there.
They were so close. Now, I want to ask. Eren would have ripped his head off, right?
Yeah, that would have definitely been.
That would have happened,
goal.
right?
Yeah, he would have ripped off his head, and then I don't know what the goal would have been from there. I don't know if he would have just like, I'm gonna eat him, lost control like he did with Annie and was like attempting to eat her, and then who would have known if Birdie would have? Yeah, don't know.
Yeah. So now makes me ask this question now, as Kyron had kind of mentioned earlier in this episode. So say that Eren rips the armor titan's head off. Say it exposes the Titan user Rhina.
Yeah. And
say the Colossal decides to go ahead and free fall and crash onto them, onto the Titan user.
Yeah.
What does that do to Rhina?
Yeah.
Does that moment when Rhina's body is exposed, right? And you have this Colossal Titan falling on top of him.
I'm guessing he would just go into a coma state.
Okay. So his body
would need to be retrieved. Yeah. Like he would have been pretty much out of commission, but not dead.
Yeah.
Just in a coma. So it would have been between one of the scouts or Bertold or Eren to retrieve.
So would that have been
Rhina? Put him deep underground.
Decision then? Quick thinking to retrieve Rhina and get the hell out of there? Or would he have tried to go ahead and get Rhina, have a limbless, Eren and strap him to his back or something? Or
because it's not like,
because how is he gonna leave with?
I'm guessing that Bertold is able to turn into a colossal titan again. I mean, given he was only from like the bottom of the ribs up, maybe he has just enough to be this skinny colossal to be able to get out, but I don't know. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I mean, if Rhina does somehow survive that, like you say, he's in a comatose state, which means that Berto has to figure out how to escape with the both of them. And the decision, do I take Eren with me? You can't take Ymir. I mean, wherever she's at right now.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So
she's under his tongue. Oh no.
This is interesting to kind of think about the, kind of like, I don't know, the what ifs.
Like
or
theoretically,
about,
like if this did happen, then
all right, but yeah, very interesting. I feel like we got into some good final thoughts here. Is there anything else we should kind of mention, Lex, and what we kind of talked about? I think we talked about kind of the big moments here.
Right? The biggest thing I just wanted to talk about was like where the heck
Ymir?
is Ymir?
Yeah.
But no, I feel like we brought attention to pretty much everything that I saw that I wanted to analyze and everything. And I mean, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job of analyzing everything that I had noticed.
So we'll leave it at that moment then, and we're gonna find out what the heck happened, right? As we continue
Join
on
us
the
next
episode.
time, guys.
So yeah, that wraps up then this episode of Attack to Talk podcast. Thank you guys for whoever joined us. Thank you to Eddie and to Kyron for joining us along in
thank
chat.
You guys. Appreciate it very much.
For everyone else, remember that we stream live. We're live on Twitch pretty much every Sunday. And then if anything changes, guys, the day or the time, we will update you guys on Instagram. So please follow at Attack to Talk Podcast. And we'll update you guys. And
while you're signing out, I have to pee really bad.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Pee and then come back and join us. Yeah, guys, make sure to go and follow us. Also, check out the link tree that we have, where you guys can go and see the many platforms that we are on. You can go ahead. We have a link to Spotify. You guys can listen or watch us on Spotify. I believe there's an Apple podcast link there as well. If you want to go ahead and watch us on YouTube, you guys can do that. So the Spotify and the YouTube episodes will all be released on on Fridays. We decided on releasing them on Fridays. And so catch those. Yeah, check out the link tree, guys. Also has our Twitch channel there. So where you guys can go ahead and kind of follow us on Twitch, so you guys can get updated whenever we go live. And then you guys go and follow us on YouTube. So whenever we release the episode, just in case you guys can't catch those live streams. We appreciate everything, guys. Appreciate the support, of course. And it's always fun streaming live and having you guys join us. So again, guys, follow us on Instagram, check out the link tree. And now, of course, we got to go ahead and give our shout out to our good friend NatePlaysBad for just helping us out, man. Just helping us out with so much of, again, just the setup and so much of the, just the actual production part of it, and helping us get to where we're at now. Because without Nate, it would have been very difficult to stream live like we do. So shout out to you, Nate. Go ahead and support him, guys. Check out his Twitch channel, NatePlaysBad. And I think Nate's going to be in town coming soon, I believe this week, maybe next week. So love to go ahead and link up, Nate, so we can go ahead and just kind of catch up. That'd be cool.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah. So thank you, Nate, for everything. Again, guys, go support him, guys. Check out his Twitch channel, and also you guys can find, I believe, the link to his Twitch channel in our episode descriptions.
Yes.
So let's talk about some merch. Also, guys, in our link tree, we have some links to some little merch outlets that you guys can go ahead and check out. One of them being AnimeCrunch. That link will send you to their online store where you guys can go ahead and browse through the different kind of merch that they have. They have a lot of different stuff, guys. Go check that out. Anything you like, go ahead and purchase it, guys. And
send us any photos of what you guys buy off of anything that we mentioned, and we'll definitely shout you out.
Yeah, for sure. We'll shout you guys out. And go ahead and check out the So do I just search up Nate Plays Bad? Ed is asking, and yeah, I think so. Just Nate Plays Bad, and
Yeah, that should just be his username.
and it should come up over on Twitch. Nate has been pretty active on Twitch as of late. So again, if you follow him, you'll get the alerts on whenever he goes live.
Yes.
But yeah, going back to the merch. Also in our link tree is a link to Fandomion. Fandomion, again, they have a lot of different stuff. And we know that with Halloween coming up, I can only imagine all the different assorted Halloween merch that they have available and that will be available in the coming days, the coming weeks, as Halloween gets closer. Yeah, so keep an eye on that, guys.
Yes.
Go ahead and check that out. Again, click on that link. It'll take you to their online store where you guys will be able to use the promo code. The promo code is Lex, promo code LEX. Use that promo code, guys. Lexi wants to help you guys out, and you guys will be helping her out by using that promo code.
Please. Thank you, guys.
And again, if whatever you guys purchase, go ahead and let us know. Send us a cool little pic on Instagram. We'll go ahead and we'll shout you out, and we'll also
all kinds of stuff.
We'll tag Fandomion to let you guys or let them know that you guys are supporting them. It's what it's about, guys. It's about just all the different support and helping each other out. And yeah, so keep an eye on all the different incoming merch that's going to be available, as well as look at the stuff that's already there. You never know, you might find some cool stuff. All right, so let's talk about some art. And in the link tree, guys, if you guys are looking at purchasing anything, any sort of art, we have a very talented artist. We have his Etsy store link in our link tree, and that is ArtofCesar. And if you guys go ahead and click that link, it'll take you to his Etsy store. As I had said, you guys can go ahead and search through the art that he has available on there. So go ahead and check that out, guys. He's very talented. He's been putting out some really cool stuff. I know that we talked about it. I know, Eddie, you'd mentioned last stream that you really liked his Kurt Cobain that he did.
Yeah,
and
that was really cool. Yeah,
really, really, really cool.
That was talented.
So in order to see that kind of stuff, guys, go ahead and follow Caesar at ArtofCesar on Instagram. That's art_of_Caesar_. Check that out, guys. Go ahead and follow him so that you guys can go ahead and see all the different art that he posts, and it's very, very cool. And I'll go ahead and throw it to Lexi so she can shout out our friends of the show.
Oh, yeah, we have friends of the show. One of them is being Marco. He didn't join us today, but he is a very close friend of the show and friend in real life. His Instagram is his name. It's MARC0 MAMONE. And he's a really great artist. He's been doing a lot more drawings and everything. He's been really honing in on his skills. So go check it out. And yeah, definitely go check out his stuff. He's definitely feeling much more confident in his drawing and stuff now, and very much appreciates all of you guys checking it out too. So go check him out.
Yeah.
And then we also have Eddie, who is a great artist, who is, I always forget his username. I know it's Dewan.
Dewan.
Yeah,
right?
Dewan. Art Dewan. That's what it is. Which is ARTDEJUAN.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far he has his really, really cool Joker up that has amazing detail, and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Which is also really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Check it out, guys.
Go ahead and check out our friends of the show.
Go ahead and follow both Marco and follow both Eddie so that you guys can go ahead and see whenever they post. You guys can go ahead and follow along with all the different creative art that they post. And yeah, check it out, guys. Definitely, Eddie. Yeah. Kurt Cocaine is
yeah.
I can only imagine all the cocaine that was used in the grunge time.
I know.
Sure.
Especially.
But, there's no need to say thanks, my friend. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it. So, yeah.
Really
so,
great artists.
Without further ado, guys, thank you guys again so much for the continuous support. Yeah, just keep spreading the word, guys. You know, the more the merrier. Remember to look out for future Spotify Q&As. The questions that we put out, we try to think of some good ones for you guys, and those are Spotify exclusive. Don't be afraid to go ahead and chime in on what you guys think about the question. And, you know, we always appreciate your guys' thoughts. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate your guys' insight, because it just puts a whole new perspective on
definitely
Attack on Titan sometimes, you know? And
I love hearing your guys' your guys' feedback and
Oh,
hearing
yeah.
your guys' reasoning for stuff and how you got to make these thoughts. And it's just stuff that we would have never thought of, or
Yeah.
you guys bring up examples of things that was like, oh dang, like you're right. That does bring up a great point. And you guys are the content. You guys
yeah.
are the podcast.
You
And we
guys
wouldn't
are.
really have that interesting
sure.
of a podcast if it wasn't for you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much.
So definitely. Oh, okay. Eddie Charmian says, yeah, I've been watching House of the Dragon. And you're so right. A live AOT by HBO Max would look amazing. That's the
Yeah.
first thing that came to my mind. Okay. I haven't been watching the episodes. I watched a bit of the first episode because that was the premiere of it, the hype and everything. And I watched a little bit of it before we stream live. And yeah, that's the only thing that's going through my mind was as I was seeing how they kind of like created the sets and stuff like that, created the kind of the houses, the town, the villages, or whatever you want to call it. I couldn't help but think about Shiganshina,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, like so cool.
But the budgeting per episode, like
It would need to be, they
It's
would need to have
insane.
serious budgeting. It would
like,
need to be done right.
It's like tens of millions per episode.
Yeah, it would need to be done right for sure for an actual, authentic live action AOT, right? Because anything less than that, like it's just gonna be shit quality, right? Yeah, Eddie's talking the orange brown rooftops. Yeah, it's just I like how the like almost like the old ruggedness of it too, and how you could tell it kind of like I don't want to say it looks like a dirty town, whatever, but like I like
Kind of similar
how
vibes.
yeah, it just
Similar aesthetics.
yeah, exactly. It definitely is very similar.
More rustic.
Yeah. So that's the first thing that came to my mind. So it's cool that you also saw that too, Eddie. But yeah, guys, again, look out for those future Spotify Q&As. Look out for the future poll questions that we give you guys, because those are always fun to go ahead and find out too. And yeah, those also kind of like start up conversations.
Oh
as
yeah,
well and
those
stuff.
those can be half the episode.
Yeah. And so those are on Spotify as well as on our Instagram,
Yes.
courtesy of Zach.
Yes.
Zach goes and he posts the poll questions, which I appreciate very much. So again, guys, we stream live on Sundays. Join us. It's a lot of fun. Our friends here that join us now and who are our reoccurring guests.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys so much. It makes the episodes just so much more fun. I know it's
Yeah.
fun to go in and talk about Attack on Titan, but then when you have other like-minded friends who just appreciate and enjoy AOT, it just makes it so much more fun.
Oh yeah.
And again, as we mentioned, we love you guys chiming in and telling us your guys' insight. We love, like, even like when Eddie goes and he tells us about certain kind of moments, or he talks about kind of like more detailed stuff, or he gives insight or a little even did you know kind of moments, stuff like that. Like I enjoy those, right? I enjoy just when we have people just kind of giving us their kind of insight on something we had talked about. Even early on in the episode when we begin to go ahead and talk about the questions, the poll, and all that, when you guys here live with us, we're able to go ahead and really go deep into those questions sometimes, which is a
Yeah.
lot of fun. So again, guys, we stream live, and yeah, so join us. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Yes, please. Would
Yeah.
love to have you guys there. Love interacting with you guys.
So very cool. So Eddie also is asking us here. So you know how there was a Zack Snyder Justice League on HBO Max? Yes.
Yes. Aware. What
Yeah.
about it?
So what are we missing here?
What's coming next?
Tell us, Eddie.
Yes. What's going on?
Yeah. Just imagine if he got the first part of season 4 released by Wit. That would be amazing.
Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, if we got the first part.
Just like the half part
Oh,
one.
if we
of
got
season 4?
if we got the first part of season 4 released by Wit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
if
Damn.
part 1 of season 4 was Wit, and then we had
And then we had the other.
the rest of it was Mappa.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, there would have been, I think, a bigger reaction to it would have been more glaring, the differences that we see between Mappa and Wit, because
Yeah.
at least with season 4, they're aged up a little bit, and the only real comparison we get is through flashbacks. But if you're straight up going from part 1 to part 2, different what's the word I'm thinking of? Different. What are Wit and Mappa? Companies?
Yeah, they're like
different companies, I guess. Then I feel like there would be a much more glaring difference, and I think that a lot of people just don't like change. So I think that people would have definitely responded differently to it. But I like both. So
yeah, I mean, Eddie's telling us that he thinks that that's how far they got before the studio themselves changed.
Studio, that's what I'm thinking of. Studio, not company. Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
True.
if that is the case and there is that kind of content there.
Yeah, if we have some part 1 by Wit.
That would be crazy.
I'd love to see.
But as we've said before, any like AOT content that is released is like, yeah, sign me up for it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Can I get that, please?
So, yeah, that'd be crazy, Eddie, for sure.
Give me more.
But you guys, so we got to get out of here. We appreciate you guys again for sticking around with us. As we said, you guys make the experience here. Thank you guys for joining us live. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We look forward to streaming live with you guys. And yeah. So,
true.
all that being said, thank you for sticking around with us, Eddie.
Yes. Thank you, Eddie.
We appreciate your support, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
We hope that you continue to be well. We hope that you have a good week. And I'm sure we'll see you in the next live for sure.
Yes.
So with all that being said, guys, you guys know it. Just stay safe. Spread that love. Spread that positivity. Just be there for one another.
Just as Eddie is right now. Great example.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, we hate and we love. It's as simple as that, guys. We love you guys. And we hope that you all have a great, productive week. We'll see you guys next time. I'm AJ, signing off here, saying goodbye to all my friends out there. And Lexi is.
Hi, I'm Lexi, and I'm also signing out and saying goodbye to all you guys. And thank you so much for all that you do and all that you've done and all that you will continue to do. Hope to see you next week, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys soon, guys. All right? Alrighty. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.